Hi, I'm Doug here at Global West, and on the table I happen to have an Interloc body mount kit for 1967 through 69 Camaro, Firebird, or 68 through 74 Novas. Now this is a stock height body mount kit. We happen to make also a 1/2 inch drop. But today we want to take time to show you how easy it is to install, and we happen to have a 69 Camaro in the back that rolled in that's looking for a new set of body mounts. So let's go in the back and let's do a quick install and show you how easy it is to put this kit on that Camaro. We're under the 69 Camaro right now, and I want to show you a couple things real quick before we get started on changing the subframe bushings. This is the subframe bushing that we're going to be installing, and one of the key things I want to show is that there's a large diameter here. It's 2 1/4, and then we have a 2 inch, and this simulates exactly what a stock bushing would look like. But this 2 1/4 portion versus the 2 goes on the top side of your frame. So it goes between the frame and the body. So the 69 came in and we noticed a few things on this that really isn't set right. It looks like somebody tried at one time to put some body mount bushings on, but they ran into a little bit of trouble. So let me point a couple things out here before we get started on installing these. Let me show you something. On this particular side, now this happens to be the driver's side. One of the things we noticed immediately was up in this area right here, there's a rubber, they managed to put a rubber cushion right here, just a rubber strip, and they put it in between the floor and the transmission crossmember. Now, they did that because this was rubbing and they were picking up some noise. Well, one of the problems is this body mount bushing here is actually installed upside down. So this is pulling this a lot closer to the floor. And if you'll notice also how the bolt is inset into the flat washer, that's not how that's supposed to go. So this was actually installed upside down, which is going to close up this area right here. Now if we go to the other side, let me show you something there. This is how it's supposed to look in reference to the bolt and the washer. But you see the rubber cushion here, the factory cushion, it's all blown out. It's dry rotted, it's done. But yet the top piece on this side looks like it's fairly new. So one side was put in upside down, this side wasn't put in complete, only partials. So the interesting thing, what happens when you have a scenario like this, or when your body mounts get worn out, is that you'll have a lot of popping sounds, like when you go over bumps or go into a driveway and stuff. You're going to hear creaks, and like this particular car has, it actually pops as you roll into up the driveway. And a lot of it has to, it's an immediate dead giveaway for us when we did a test drive, that something's going on here in the subframe area involving the body mounts. And this is what we found. So now you understand why we're going to be changing the body mounts on this particular car and straightening all this out. So let's get started. All right, one of the first things we're going to do on this 69, we've got it on the ground. We're going to go ahead and we're going to loosen up all the bolts. There's 6 of them for the subframe bushings. You've got one at the back there, right underneath the seats. You got one approximately in this area here, and then you got one up at the radiator core support. What we want to do is we're going to loosen all the bolts. One side we're going to drop out totally, and the other side we're going to leave the bolts in, but you have to loosen them. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, we've gone ahead and got the bolts off on the passenger side. We've loosened the body mounts on the driver's side. Our next step is we're going to take the floor jack and this piece of wood, and we're going to go ahead and lift the body up off the frame. So let us show you how we're going to do that. Okay, so we've got these lines here. We're going to run the wood right up to there.
And we're going to go ahead and put the floor jack onto the wood right next here, as you can see the pinch weld. Now the lines that are attached to the body, and then they're also attached to the frame here, they're flexible. They'll move a little bit. And we're not going that far, so it's not to worry. So let's go ahead and lift this up, and we'll watch as we lift the body up off the subframe, and you'll see the separation. Okay, you can see the separation here. This makes it real easy. We're going to take the factory part off. Now we're putting our piece on. Remember, the 2 1/4 large diameter goes on the top, drops right in like so. Okay, now we're going to go to the firewall location, and we're going to do the same thing as we're going to pop the old one out and put the new one in. So let's go do that. All right, so here we are at the firewall, and I've got plenty of height here to get this bushing down, and it looks like the factory has a shim that they originally installed to set the height. And you'll find that on certain applications. So you're going to have to put that shim back in. So in this particular case, you'll put your shim in, then our bushing will go on top like this. It'll drop into position, and now that's ready to go. We're ready to line that up. Now we're going to go to the radiator core support, and let's go ahead and put that in real quick, and then we can drop this side down. So we're moving up to the radiator core support. Now on this particular car, we had to loosen the 2 bolts that hold the bumper bracket on to allow us to have enough rise on the body to separate between the frame and the body here to get this mount out, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to just give this a slight nudge, and there it comes out. Now we'll go ahead and reinstall our interlock bushing. Okay, so our next step is we're going to go ahead and put the radiator core support in. This is the bushing for it. Now this goes in like this. So this goes to the frame, and this goes up through the radiator core support. So let's go ahead and install that. Okay, we've got that in. Now let's go ahead and drop this frame down on this side. Okay, so you can see the body mount installed down between the frame and the radiator core. The next step is to put the female portion of the bushing on top of the radiator core, and we'll drop the bolt down through. You're going to go ahead and use a large flat washer provided in your kit. So as you can see on these body mounts at the firewall and at the back, underneath the seat, you just put the female mount on, flat washer, lock washer, and run it up. Now you're not going to tighten this down. We're just going to index them on this whole side, keep them loose, and then we're going to go to the other side, and we're going to do the same thing we just did on this side. And once we get the other side in, then we're going to get it back on the ground, and we're going to torque everything. But you don't want to do any tightening down until we get all 6 in. So now that we got this side ready, let's go to the other side. Our next step is torquing all the bolts. The 5/8 bolts we're going to torque to 100 foot-pounds, and the 1/2 inch at the radiator core we're going to torque to 70. Now remember, after you torque all these bolts, on this particular model, we had to loosen up the bumper bolt bracket. So there's 4 bolts that we have to retighten down, and we have to make sure that that bumper is aligned properly. Easy stuff. That's all there is to it. Installing an 800 body mount kit. All right, earlier we were talking about that rubber piece that was put between the transmission cross member and the body, so it wasn't going to rattle. I thought I'd take a second. Now that we've got the body mount bushings in, I thought you might want to see something. So we're going to take a look here, and you can see the rubber piece. Check this out. Done. It's gone. Problem fixed. This whole side was down because of the body mounts, and by installing the 800 kit, we eliminated the problem. There you go.
Okay, Now you got a good idea how easy it is to install our 800 body mount kits. Do it on the ground, simplest way, easy installation, should take you about an hour and a half. If you have any questions, give us a call here at Global West, and we'll be glad to help you out.